Hello everyone. So have you ever struggled with the present perfect? Or should I say, have you been struggling with it? You see what I did there? No? Well, stick around because by the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly when to use have done versus have been doing. And trust me, it's one of those things that will make you sound way more natural in English. Let's dive in. So first up, the present perfect simple. The formula is really straightforward. It's have plus the past participle of a verb. I have written, she has finished, things like that. Now here's the key thing to remember. When you use the simple form, you're focusing on being in possession of the completion of something. Think of it as the action is done and you now have the result. The consequence is logical and necessary because it's just because the action is completed. Let me give you some examples. First, the completed action and its logical consequence. I've lost my keys. What's the logical consequence? I can't get into my house. The focus is on the result. I'm locked out. It's a necessary consequence of losing the keys. Second, assessment counting, completed action. I have written 3 letters. Notice how we've been counting 3 letters. Done, finished. We care about the number, the result. Or they have won several awards from their research. Again, we are tallying up accomplishments. Third, experience acquired. I have visited Japan. This is about life experience of the subject. It's now part of who I am. It's actually knowledge that I possess. Number 4, explanation. I'm not ready. I've forgotten to take my wallet. This is like saying, because I've forgotten my wallet. We are explaining a current situation through a completed action. Number 5, breaking news. Kate has had a baby. Hot off the press, fresh news. We're announcing a result. You can even add just right after have. Kate has just had a baby. So basically, you can sum it up in 5 words: completion, assessment, experience, explanation, and news. Now let's talk about the continuous or being form of the present perfect. This one is have been plus a verb with the ing ending. I have been writing, they have been working. Get it? The big difference with the present perfect simple, you're focusing on the result of the ongoing activity, not the result of the completion. And here's the kicker. The consequences are unexpected. There are side effects. They are contingent, the opposite of necessary, meaning that there are accidental side effects of the activity. And there's always some subjectivity from the speaker who gives their own viewpoint. Check out these 4 possible values. Number 1, unfinished action. They have been repairing the road for months. This means the road is still being repaired. It's not done yet. We're talking about an ongoing process. The result of the completion hasn't been obtained, so you'll add being to the present perfect. Number 2, the temporary, unusual or exceptional situation. I've been living with my parents for the past few months. It's not permanent, it's temporary, unusual arrangement. Number 3, visible traces and side consequences. This is where it gets really interesting. The being form is useful to explain present traces of past activity, but those traces are independent from a natural completion of an action. It can help you explain or justify present traces of a past action. For example, your hands are covered in paint. Yes, I have been painting the fence. That's why. The paint on your hands is a side effect, a trace of the activity. So the cause is conjugated with the present perfect continuous, and the consequence is expressed with another verb. It can express a deduction. The speaker makes a deduction of a past event thanks to its accidental consequences in the present situation. There is water everywhere. Have you been washing the dog? You're deducing what happened from the traces of water you see here and there. If the action is perceived negatively and the subject is you, it can be understood as an accusation or a reproach. You smell of alcohol. You've been drinking. There's definitely some negative judgment here. And it can also express a recent event. You've been watching the 8 o'clock news. The action just finished, so it's likely that there are still traces. That's the idea. Number 4, subjective comment for complaints or emphasis. I've been waiting for hours. This is where you add emotion. You're not just stating a fact, you're complaining. The speaker is expressing frustration or effort. So in short, using being shows that an action is ongoing, unusual, deduced from present traces, or personally judged by the speaker. These different values aren't always mutually exclusive. They can often overlap to add layers of meaning to your sentence. Okay, now here comes the fun part. What happens when you can use either form but the meaning changes? Let's break it down. A. Completed versus unfinished. They have repaired the road. The road is done, it's fixed, completed, the result is obtained. Whereas they have been repairing the road here is still being repaired, it's unfinished, the result is not obtained yet. B. Permanent versus temporary. My parents have lived in Bristol all their lives. This is solid fact, it's permanent and anchored, it's a stable situation. I've been living in Shirley's flat for the last month. This is temporary, it's just an unusual situation, and that is likely to change very soon. C. Necessary versus contingent consequence. This one is subtle but important. The bird have eaten the strawberries. The logical consequence is that there are no strawberries left. It's a necessary result of the completed action. The birds have been eating the strawberries, so here there is a side consequence, like for example, I'm upset about it, or I'm explaining why I'm putting a net on the plants. It's a contingent, unexpected consequence, not the necessary result. D. Neutral versus subjective. I've waited for an hour. Fact, it lasted 60 minutes. The speaker just imparts information. There's no drama about it. I've been waiting for an hour. I'm so annoyed here. This is a complaint. I'm fed up. You see the difference? The simple form gives you logical, necessary consequences and factual statements. The being form adds flavor, emotion, subjectivity, and focusing on side effects. Part 4. Present perfect versus past simple. A quick side note here, because many people mix these two up. Think of the past simple like a time capsule. It's totally disconnected from right now. When you use it, you're focusing on the circumstances of a finished moment. You're basically zooming into a specific point in the past and staying there. You'll know you're in this zone if you see markers like yesterday, ago, last week, in 1998, or when, for example. Yesterday, I went shopping. You'd never say, I've been shopping yesterday, because yesterday is a closed door. It's over. Now, the present perfect is different. It's a bridge. It connects what happened then to right now. It's all about current relevance of a past event. Think of it like this. The subject of the clause now possesses the completion of the action. Look for markers like so far, since, lately, already, yet, ever, or just. If I ask, have you seen the exhibition? That implies the gallery is still open and you can still go and see it. And the same goes for people. If I say he has written 15 novels, it means he's still alive and kicking. He could write 15 more. Basically, if it's a then thing, use the past simple. If it's a still thing, still relevant for some reason, go with the present perfect. One last thing before we wrap up, the golden rule. You cannot use being with a specific number of completed objects. So you can say, I have been writing, full stop. You focus on the activity. There is no number, so no end expressed. I have written 2 letters. When you count, you use the simple aspect, not being. You cannot say, I have been writing 2 letters, because if you're counting completed things, you need the simple form. Being is for the process, not the count. Exception though, there's one little twist. If the action itself has no intrinsic end, you can use being even with a number. I have been writing 2 difficult letters. Why does this work? Because writing with difficulty is an ongoing process without a clear endpoint. Here the focus is on the struggle, not the completion. Alright, that's it. You now know the difference between present perfect simple and present perfect continuous. So next time someone asks you, what have you been doing? You will know they are asking about the activity, the process. And if they ask, what have you done? They want to know about the results and what you're completed. Now, are you ready to level up? If you want more content like this, and I mean tons of free resources to come to help you crush the TOEIC or TOEFL, head over to erosophia.eu. Practice exercises, grammar breakdowns, pronunciation activities coming soon, basically everything you need for those big English exams. Keep an eye out for those time markers. Next time you're reading or listening to English, it will start to click, I promise. If you have questions on this, just drop them in the comments and let's chat. I'll see you in the next one. Happy practicing.